Good morning, boys and girls. I hope that you are ready for another chapel chat day and ready to hear what God has for us to learn today. We've been talking about love because it's the month of January, of February, whatever the month is. The best month, though. The month of February, we think of love, but we've been talking not about, googly. We've been talking about God's love and how God loves us. And we talked about Ruth last week. And that's just a beautiful picture. When we look at the story of Ruth, it's a beautiful picture of God's love for us. And so that's why I wanted to share the story of Ruth with you all. Remember, we started last week talking about a man named Elimelech. And Elimelech and his wife Naomi and their two sons Mahlon and Chilion lived in the town of Bethlehem. Yes, lived in the town of Bethlehem. And during that time that they lived in Bethlehem, there just so happened to be a famine in the land. And so because of that, they decided we're going to have to take matters into our own hands. God maybe made a mistake and there's been a problem. So we're going to have to go and do what we think is best. And so what they thought was best was leaving Bethlehem to go to a land called Moab, where there weren't Christians there. There weren't people there that believed in God. There were people that worshiped idols, but that's where they decided to move to. And so Elimelech and his family moved to Moab, and things were great because there was food and there was jobs for him and all of that. But pretty soon, the Lord ended up allowing Elimelech to die. And now Naomi is there in Moab by herself with her two sons and trying to raise them as best she can. Well, they do get older, and they're old enough now to the point where they can find wives for themselves to help take care of Naomi and have for obviously their own children and things like that. And sadly, after marrying these girls that they should not have married because they weren't supposed to even be in Moab, so they definitely should not have been marrying Moabite girls that worshiped idols instead of believing in the one true God. But sadly, not long after marrying those girls, Mahlon and Chilion also died. And so now Naomi is in a land where she has no family or friends that are, Bible believers, God believers like she is. And she's there by herself, but her two daughters-in-law are just happen to be with her. And as Naomi's thinking about Bethlehem and remembering her family and friends and missing them, she happens to hear that God is blessing Bethlehem again with food and giving, and they have plenty to eat now. So Naomi makes the decision, I need to go back home. I miss my home. And we left off saying that Ruth and Orpah had told Naomi, we're going to go with you. We don't want you to go all the way back there by yourself. We want to go with you and to help you. And Naomi talked to them again and convinced them, no, your family is here. Your gods that you worship are here. The people that everything that you're comfortable with is here in Moab. Don't come to Bethlehem for me. You won't know anybody and you're going to leave all your family. Well, Orpah said, you're absolutely right. I love you, Naomi, but I'm going to go back home and I'm going to take care of my family and hopefully find a Moabite husband and just, have children and be happy. I hate to leave you, but I'm going to. But Ruth said, no, please don't make me leave you. Naomi, I want to go with you and I want to help you. I want your people to be my people, your God to be my God. I want to be with you. And she was accepting Naomi's God as her God and Naomi's people as her people. And so Ruth made that tough decision, and both Ruth and Naomi went back together to the little town of Bethlehem. Well, as Naomi and Ruth get to Bethlehem, the time that they were traveling back there is a time where it's called gleaning time. It was a time, or reaping time, I guess, really. It was a time when there would be reapers all of the grain would grow, and then they had to have people that would go out and reap the grain, which means they would cut the grain down and they would bundle it up into big bundles so that people could collect it and bring it home, and that they could and then they could have food for their homes. So this was a time when people were reaping in the fields, busy cutting that grain and binding it into bundles. Well, Naomi's friends were so excited to see her. Oh, they gathered around her. Oh, Naomi, it's been so long. Naomi's back, guys. Naomi's back. Come and let's go see her. They were so excited. They crowded around her and they had so many questions from the time that she left. But they noticed that even though it was great to see Naomi and she had a smile on her face, they noticed that there were some extra wrinkles on her and there was a sadness in her eyes, as if something wasn't great. And so they asked her, Naomi, where's your husband? Where are the boys? How is everyone? And who is this young lady that's with you? And Naomi had to tell them the story. I lost my husband and both my sons in Moab. So I don't want you to call me Naomi anymore. Instead, call me Mara. Because the name Naomi, it means pleasant. It means kind of happy. But I have had some real sadness in my life, and the name Mara, it means bitter, sad, like a bitter taste in your mouth, like, oh, I don't like this. And I left here happy and feeling wonderful, but I'm coming back with a heavy sadness because I'm missing my husband and my sons. So please don't call me Naomi anymore. Her friends wanted to know what Naomi was going to do now. What's going to happen? I mean, you don't have a husband to take care of you. How are you going to survive? And Naomi said, well, this is my daughter-in-law, Ruth. And she chose to come back to live with me here in Bethlehem. And we're going to live together, and we're going to do the best we can to try to take care of each other and to be okay with everything that's going on. So Ruth decided that she was going to do what they did there in Bethlehem. She was going to learn about this reaping and gleaning. It was custom that the reapers, when they would go and cut the stalks of grain and bundle it into bundles, that all those reapers were told, leave a little bit, leave some of the grain behind. Don't take all of it, because there's lots of big bundles. I mean, look at all this grain. There's so much of it. And they're going to put it into a bunch of bundles. They could leave little bits and pieces. And then those who were poor, widow women, children who had no parents to take care of them, they would go behind those people that were reaping and cutting the stalks of grain and bundling them up. And once there's those little stalks, some of those fell, those children and those widows and people that didn't have other people to take care of them, they would go out and they would try to grab as much of that dropped grain as they could find. And that is what they would use to bring to their homes to help them. It was called gleaning. They would glean in the fields. And that was one of God's ways of providing for his children, because he knew not everybody would have a husband to take care of them. Not everybody had parents to take care of them. There would be some orphans. There would be some widows. There would be others who would not have the ability to just take care of themselves. And so God allowed there to be those that would help them, that they could glean from. When Ruth heard of this custom that they had in Israel, she told Naomi, I'm going to go out and I'm going to find fields and I'm going to glean in those fields. And I will get whatever grain is left and I'll make sure that we have enough so that we can eat. And Naomi said, okay, thank you, my daughter. Please go and you do that. And so that's exactly what Ruth did. She went out to the fields and she went to go early in the morning to go find a field, to go where there were men that were working, harvesting the grain, reaping that grain, and leaving little bits and pieces behind so that people could glean. And she saw other women and other children gleaning in those fields. So she decided to join and get some of those leftovers for herself. Now, the interesting thing is, this field that she went to glean in just so happened to be the field of a very rich man. She could have gleaned in anybody's field, but this one field that she just happened to find first was a very rich man named Boaz. And she went to glean in Boaz's field. Boaz came to see how his servants were doing, to see how the gleaning was going, if the people were getting enough that leftover stuff that was there. He greeted his servants and asked how everything was going. And as Boaz was searching and surveying the field and seeing what was going on, he noticed there's a young woman. I've never seen her before. Where did she come from? Who is she? Oh, Boaz, that is Naomi's daughter-in-law. Her name is Ruth. She came all the way from Moab to stay with Naomi. Her husband died back in Moab. It was obviously it was one of Naomi's sons, and he died. But even though he died, she didn't stay with her family. She came back here with Naomi and decided to stay with her, and she's been helping her so much. Boaz, she came to the field early this morning, and she has not stopped working yet. And she is such a good, hard worker. She's not even stopped. She hasn't rested at all. Boaz had heard other things about Ruth before and had heard from other people how wonderful it was that she was so caring and kind and gracious to Naomi, and how well she took care of Naomi. And Boaz realized she was a hard worker, and he admired that in Ruth, because she was a young lady who was going to not sit back and say, poor me, my husband died. I guess I'm not going to eat. I guess poor Naomi's not going to either. Is somebody going to bring us some food? No. Ruth said, I will go. I will do what I can to make sure that we have enough to eat, Naomi. And Boaz admired that very much. Well, Boaz went up to Ruth. He wanted to hear and see her face to face. And he even said to her, listen, I want you to know that you don't need to glean anywhere else. I don't want you to go to anybody else's field to glean in. Only come to mine. I will make sure that there is plenty for you to glean in my field. Go right behind my reapers and pick up as much grain as you would like. Don't hesitate. And by the way, if you ever get thirsty, because this is backbreaking work, they were constantly bending over and picking up grain and bending over and picking up, and it's in the hot sun and it's tiring, and your fingers are getting tired, your back is getting tired, your arms are getting tired, you're carrying all these bundles of grain. It was backbreaking work, but she worked so hard. And he said, if you ever get thirsty or ever need anything, please don't hesitate. There's water jars. There's, the well there. Go get something to drink. Ruth was so thankful for Boaz's kindness to her. She couldn't thank him enough. She bowed her head and said, you're so kind to me. Why are you so kind to me? I'm a stranger. I'm not even from this land. And Boaz said, oh, I've heard all about you. I've heard wonderful things about what you've done for your mother-in-law, how you've cared for her and taken her under your wing. You could have stayed home with your family, but you didn't. You chose to honor her. So may God bless you for blessing Naomi. I think that is such a commendable thing, something to be honored and something to be treated very respectfully because of what you did. Boaz showed Ruth even more kindness. He invited her to lunch. Come eat with my servants and myself. And he made sure that she had plenty to eat while she was there. He encouraged her, take as much as you want. Ruth ate some of the food, and then she saved some of the food to take back home to Naomi. Boaz told his workers, you treat her kindly. Drop a little bit extra for her because she deserves it. As hardworking as she is, I want to make sure she gets the best and the most of it all. So take care of her. Well, Ruth went back to her gleaning and she went back to work. Sorry, I got to find the right picture here. Ruth went back to her work and she gleaned there all day long, all into towards the evening. And then finally in the evening, she was getting all of the extra, stuff that she doesn't not want as the extra, and beating it out of the barley and getting all the good grain. And when she finally shifted all that good grain together, she realized she had a whole bushel full of grain to take home to Naomi. She and Naomi were going to be just fine. They were going to have plenty to eat. And she carried that back to her mother-in-law, along with the food that she had saved from lunch. And she goes into the house, and Naomi is just shocked. Wait, Ruth, where in the world did you get all of this food from? What? This is so much. I've never seen anybody go to glean and come back with that much. How do you even have that much? Where did you glean today? And Ruth said, oh, Naomi, there was the nicest man. I think his name was Boaz, and he let me. Oh, what? What's his name? What's his name? What did you say his name was, Ruth? I said his name was, I think it was Boaz. Oh, Ruth, you went to Boaz's field? Are you sure? Yes, Naomi. Why? Did I do something wrong? Oh, no. You did something so right. Ruth. I'm Naomi, what's wrong? Please calm down. What is wrong? Why are you so excited and why are you scaring me? What did I do? What happened? Okay. Hold on. I just need to calm down for just a minute. Give me a minute. Oh, Ruth, I'm so excited. Naomi, what? Why are you so excited? Okay, hold on. I'm going to tell you in just a second. Hold on. Oh my goodness. I can't believe this. This is absolutely amazing. I mean, this is absolutely incredible. This is only something that God could do because, I mean, who's going to else could orchestrate that this way? I mean, only God could have done something like that. Okay, Naomi, you're talking to yourself. What are you so excited about? Why are you so happy? Oh, Ruth. Okay. Ruth. Okay. Okay. I'm just going to tell you. Yes, please tell me. I'm dying to know. Are you guys dying to know too? Aren't you? Yeah. Maybe I should make you wait. I'm just kidding. I'm not making you wait. Okay. Ruth, the reason I'm so excited is because Boaz, you said that's his name, right? That's what. Yes, I'm pretty sure it was Boaz. He was a very nice man, and he said I could glean as much as I wanted, and I could take this extra food to you. And Ruth, he's my relative. He's a relative of mine. And do you understand in my custom, in the Israelite custom, what that means is that because you are my relative, because you're my daughter-in-law, my next relative, the closest relative next to me, it's his job to marry you and take care of us. So if Boaz is my next relative, we are set. We don't have to worry anymore. And you can get married and have a family okay, hold on. I don't even know this, Mindy. I know you don't. But just continue to go to his field and just continue to do what you're doing. If he wants you there, that's a good sign. So Ruth did exactly that. She went to the field every day and she gleaned in Boaz's field. And Boaz always made sure that there was extra left for Ruth. Ruth had decided to follow the God of Israel, to follow God's people, the Israelites. And God showed great kindness and love to Ruth because now he's saying, you don't have to worry. Yes, it's a hard job being a widow woman, and it's a hard job having to take care of your mother-in-law, but I allowed you to go to just the right field with just the right person who's going to take good care of you. And boys and girls, God does the same thing for us. He takes care of those who are poor, those who are widows and orphans, those who are weak. That's showing his love for us. So thank him today for all the ways that he cares for you. Thank him today for all the love that he shares and shows with us. We'll have to find out one more bit of this story next time. So I hope that you're excited and ready to hear what else happens with Ruth and Naomi and this Boaz guy. All right. I will talk to you next time, or not talk to you next time. I'll see you next time as we get to find out what else happens in our story on Ruth. All right. Have a great rest of your day, guys. Bye.